I bought this Mark V Golf GTI for just £200. But of course, with all these abandoned cars, there is a catch. So, before we get into all the problems this Golf GTI has and how it ended up in this terrible condition, I would like to give JDM Transport a massive shout out, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to bring this car home for you guys at home to view. From getting down and dirty to hook this car up, to the GTI fighting every step of the way, not wanting to leave its resting position. But the car had no choice, they literally dragged it out of there and they managed to get the front wheels moving while they were doing it. The rear wheels were still being really stubborn and would not come unseized. So they hooked up their other truck to the rear of the GTI, and then they had a game of tug of war, and there we go, wheels freed. Knowing the wheels were now freely moving, they could begin to use the winch to pull the GTI onto their truck. Once the GTI was safely in position, they could then proceed to tie the car down so it doesn't come off the truck. They can then leave and begin to head towards my house, which was 30 minutes away. And there she is on the way back to my house on the back of the truck. So I'd like to say a massive thank you yet again to JDM Transport for making this happen. All their links will be in the description. So guys, let's get into some of the problems with my new project. It's safe to say the engine is toast. It's had engine failure. Oil pump failure to be exact. So because of the engine failure, this car has been sat for 5 whole years and it's not moved. Look at the state of these wings. Like all these Mark V Golfs, the boot's gone rusty where the water sits in here, and the wiper, it's looking pretty sad. All these nice 5-spoke alloys, yeah, they're all pretty crusty, so they're gonna need refurbishment, and the tyres are all knackered, of course, it's been sat for 5 years. The clutch pedal is all the way to the floor, doesn't come back, and the brake pedal is literally solid, it ain't moving. The interior absolutely stinks. It's not as mouldy as the other Mark V I just did, but it does stink, and there are parts and stuff everywhere. The headlights are foggy. Someone stole the VW badge. The T from my GTI is gone. It's now a GI. Someone has stole the plates off of this car. I'm guessing for some criminal activity. For some reason, the mirror has disappeared. All the brakes are going to be knackered. But with all that being said, there is a couple of good things about this GTI. So, when I was buying this car, a lot of people told me to look out for rot on the sills. Now, the only bit of rot I've noticed is this, where it's literally just bubbling the paint. I felt all underneath and it is literally solid. I've looked under there, which is very rare for these apparently. But both sides, the sill is solid underneath. That's what that is good. Obviously you can't see no rust across the top there. So it looks like we've got good sills. That is one bonus, I guess. No welding unless there's something underneath. So the overall bodywork of this GTI is actually not bad. With a clean, some new wings and maybe a rear new boot maybe, we will be able to have a nice clean GTI, but we got a lot of work before that. The interior in this GTI is absolutely immaculate. I know it's dirty, but there's no rips, there's no tears in the seats, steering wheel's not worn, everything is literally in place, clean. It's just full of junk and needs a good clean, obviously. But the inside of this car is looking nice, and they've got these lovely GTI seats. So guys, with all that being said, there is some good parts, but obviously this car is going to be one of my biggest challenges yet. I've never taken an engine out of a car. Obviously I've done brakes and stuff like that. Wings, easy, I can do all that. Badges, all that stuff's easy. The main thing is I got no clutch. It's literally to the floor. The brakes are solid, but the main part is going to be this engine swap, which I have never done. I think I'm going to be capable of doing it. In the next video, what we're going to be doing, or what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to strip off the whole front end of this car, because I want obviously as much room as I can to get that engine out. So I'm going to take the whole of the front end off, so when I do take the engine out, I'll probably take the bonnet off as well. When we take the engine out, I can just lift it and pull it straight out. That's the plan. I'm going to drain the oil and everything first. I'm not going to try and repair this. I'm literally just going to replace it. I've seen a few engines between 500 and £1,000. So that's where we're at with the engine. That's going to be the next video, ripping this out hopefully. I'm not sure if it's going to be successful, I can't lie, I've never done it. So please subscribe to support me and get this frigging thing on the road, yeah? In this engine bay, a lot of things obviously have been played with. The airbox is off, that's in the car. There's no coolant in it, don't know where that would have went, that's gone somewhere. Battery has been sat for 5 years, that's going to be dead, so we're going to be replacing that. It's not stop start, thank God. Oil cap, that's missing, that's gone, so hopefully the engine I order, that will have one. There's just parts everywhere. Obviously the garage has played with it. The belt down here for the alternator belt, that's yeah, that's off. But I'm going to be ripping the engine out, cleaning out all the engine bay, and then just building a big puzzle, I guess. So anyone with the knowledge of these cars, please comment and give me a hand. I might be all right, but I'm going to struggle, I think. So guys, I hope you are all going to enjoy the new project. I think it is quite a step up from my usual work. I want to get that car on the road. I want this to be my YouTube actual like car that I show, because getting that from that state to actually on the road, I think will be a massive achievement for me and for my YouTube channel. I've written a little list of what I think the car's going to need so far. Obviously this list is probably going to go a lot bigger. So we got engine. Obviously we need an engine, it's knackered. Front wings are knackered. Brakes are all going to be knackered. Probably brake calipers, some of them might be knackered. GTI badge, because someone's took the T. When I get the new engine, we're going to put a new clutch and flywheel in it. I'm going to put a brand new turbo on it and a cam belt kit. The reason being, obviously I want to make sure it's maintained to the best I can. I don't know the condition of that turbo, so if it's had oil pressure problem, the turbo might have been starved of oil, so I'm just going to buy a new one. I've looked, they're not too expensive, so we're going to get all that new, and I'm going to do it all myself. I'll probably have my dad here to help me, because I'm not, obviously I've never done it. We're going to need some new plates, because they've been nicked. We need a new VW badge, because also someone's pinched it. We need a passenger side mirror. We're going to get a rear wiper delete, because obviously the wiper's hanging off, and I don't really like wipers on the back anyway. The wheels are absolutely minging, they're going to need to be refurbed. 4x tyres, they've been sat for 5 years flat, so they're all probably knackered. Exhaust is rotten, so we will be putting a sports exhaust on it. Nothing expensive, I'll probably just do an eBay job. I've seen one on there, quite cheap. Stuff for this car is pretty cheap from the looks. And of course we're going to need to service the new engine, coolant, bleed the brakes, all this stuff. And of course the car's been sat for 5 years, so it's going to need a battery as well. So there's quite a big list there, and I've not even got under the car yet. But yeah, if you guys have any of this stuff, if you want to donate it to the channel to help me bring this GTI back to life, or obviously you want to sell it to me as cheap as possible. I paid £200 for this car. Well, actually, that's a lie. I paid nothing for this car. Abby surprised me, and she treated me to this car, bless her. Turn it around. Look at her. Oh, nervous. Thank you for the car, Abby. It's okay. Yeah, she's very kind. She bought me this car. So far, we've spent, well, Abby spent £200 on the car. Now, I think that is amazing for a GTI. Obviously, it's not in the best of state, but it's a GTI. I could sell the front bumper, the bomb, like, I could make quite a bit of money just off the parts of that car. So £200 is a steal. And it's off the same guy I got the GT TDI off. If you haven't seen them episodes, I'll put the playlist at the end on the click screen for you to check out if you want to see me get that car on the road. For the towing, we use the same guy again, and he's a legend. Dropped it straight off at my drive. That was £100 this time, so he did it cheaper this time. Of course, he's in the video, so yeah, everyone go and check his Instagram and give him a follow. Does some top work. He did it in gale force winds this time, not snow. So he comes out in all weathers. So guys, hope you all are going to enjoy this project, because I am going to enjoy it, but I'm also going to be bold at the end of it, probably. I can't wait to get stuck into this. The next video, we're going to hopefully have this engine out. I can't promise you, but I'll get as far as I can, because obviously I've never done it. So comment what you think of the new project. If I'm mad for £200, which I think it's worth it. It's worth more than that, well, a lot more than that in parts. So please, guys, support the channel, give it a subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next one, where we hopefully get this engine out. Peace.